Today it is late August and I am doing some last minute tree stand location prep. Basically, I have one small little piece of private land that thankfully a landowner was allowed me to get on once I did transition over to Illinois from Iowa, and I'm getting in here pretty late. But as you can see around me, it is a bit overgrown. I actually got a vine growing in front of my trail cam. You can see that. Might be why I'm getting a whole lot of false pictures, huh? But trying to get in here for one last time before deer season. You do not want to be really in your hunting areas, you know what I mean, at least a month before you're gonna hunt them, and trying to get in there as few time as possible. So trying to get in here one last time, clean up. I'm cleaning up my scrape that I have, and I got a branch hanging as well, licking branch. So we'll clean up the scrape, the licking branch, and probably the main path in here, pulling weeds and so forth, and should be good. My tree stand's looking pretty solid up there. So as far as location of the stand, it's a very small piece of timber, and I would say maybe less than 18 acres, maybe even less than that of timber. And there's a lot of people and a lot of traffic on this piece of ground. So basically what I did is I took the most secluded section of this piece of property, which is the far back corner that butts up to two other pieces of property. One's a bean field right now, and the other is just more timber. Luckily, the timber behind me, the guy doesn't let anybody hunt it. So it's kind of a little deer oasis that's not pressured, which is nice. But the key is, how do we get the deer to come on this property when it's been highly pressured, not by hunting, but highly pressured just by foot traffic and people in this area? And the biggest thing that I can do is basically create a scrape in this corner and a path for the deer to pass through from this bean field into the other property and across the backside of this property. Deer a lot of times do like to meet on corners of property. A lot of times at the corners of property, the type of land changes, and at those transition points, you'll find yourself a lot more deer traffic and deer trails. Corners of property, like going into a bean field, going into a different type of timber, you know what I mean, it's a transition point. So that's why I picked this location. So right now I'm going to freshen up my scrape first. A lot of times I would use deer pee and throw it on there at this time just to get it back going again if it looks like it wasn't used a lot. It's nice when the deer actually consistently take over the scrape and you don't have to do any work since then, but this one is probably gonna need some help. So let's actually look at this right now. So here's my scrape on the ground here. Doesn't look, there isn't really any signs of fresh movement in here. My branch is hanging a little bit lower than where I actually want it. I think the string I tied it off with stretched a little bit over time. So I'm gonna probably tighten that up, bring it a little bit up in the air. But it's not really horrible, but ideally I would want it probably like a foot, a little bit higher than that. So who knows, I might leave it, that's not too bad. But I'm gonna pull these weeds in here. I'm gonna scrape up the ground a little bit, and I was told that you can pee on the scrape to get it going. I don't know how accurate that is. I know the deer would be able to smell your scent at least that day or so, but after that, I heard it pretty much goes away. So, and then you're left with normal urine that any animal would produce. So I'm going to fix up the scrape, and I'm actually going to pee in the scrape, and I'm gonna have a trail cam on it, and we're gonna see one way or another what the deer do after that. All right, so let's get to it. Time to pee in it. All right, scrape is set. Now we need to clear the pathways in and out of this place. So, scrape. Here's my vine I got hanging, tied up high with some paracord. The deer do use this. They stopped using it recently. Like I said, there's a lot of activity in here. So you work with what you got and trying to bring them back in here. I got a lot of public spots that I've been scouting and hunting, but I definitely, this is a private spot close by, so definitely convenient, and there's definitely traffic in here during the fall. So, but either way, I gotta clear that path right there. You can see there's kind of a path there crossing from the other property, and then there's a trail that I'll walk here for you. All the way out into this field here. So those deer will be out in the field in the morning, and they'll come right in through here when they go to bed. There's a river over on the other side of that field, so they'll go hit that river, come in here, feed, and then come back through here hopefully to their little deer oasis. At least that's the plan. Let's hope it works. Time to clear more weeds. That should be pretty obvious. That's a nice easy path to come through here. Deer highway right there, hopefully. One other thing I forgot to mention, like I said, it's late August, not the best time to be in here doing this. It is it's hot, humid, but the biggest thing, I'm sweating, touching everything, leaving my scent everywhere. The one good thing about it is there's rain in the forecast for the next 2 days. So if you're gonna pick a day to come out, and honestly this is for any time, right? Because you don't want to leave your scent in your hunting area anytime you come out. If there's rain in the forecast, either later that day, later, like the same day is even better, but pick those days to come out and do your prep. Get it all done, let the rain come in, and wash your scent all the way. So definitely be smart about it, because the least trace of human you put in an area, the better odds you're gonna get a mature buck to come in. So let me get back to sweating here and clearing another trail. I'm detoxing today. Did I say it was 100 degrees out plus with humidity today? Whew, damn, it's hot. All right, let's go look at this. All right, there's a trail that runs around along a little strip of timber in between these two properties. Goes that way. And here's the clearing I just made. Right to the field. And actually there's deer bedding right in that corner. There's prints and deer that were laying down in here. So it was being used, but this was all grown up and there was no path through here anymore. Which means it wasn't good. If I didn't come in here and clear this, it would have been bad news come deer season and the amount of traffic I have in here. At least I'm giving it a shot now. All right. So the next thing I noticed that I'm gonna do in preparation is, here's my spy point Link Micro LTE camera. I actually brought my climber and I'm gonna put this another 2 feet up in this tree. The reason why, when this thing takes pictures at night, right here you have your little lights that light up, which allow it to take that picture. It's faint, but in the dark, it's noticeable. Cameras also make a faint click noise, and they're gonna look in the direction of the click noise. So I'm gonna put it up probably about 8 feet or so off the ground, and that will hopefully give me better odds of them not seeing it and getting spooked by it. All right, good news. Since I'm dying in here, I had a friend come in and help me out. But he wanted to see what I had going on at the tree stand. Yep. Sam's out here. He's gonna do the filming. Make this a little easier. Make it a little quicker so I can get the hell out of here and hit some AC. But I might want to move that camera higher up. Less likely to be seen by the deer. When it's snapping pictures, hopefully less likely they'll hear it too. It makes a very faint click noise, but if I can hear it from 2-3 feet away, a deer can hear that probably from 10 yards away, especially if it's not windy. Always bring a climbing stick. This helps me get that camera up in the air. Especially important if you're hunting public ground. You get your camera up about 8 feet off the ground, 9 feet off the ground, and have it angled down, you're a lot less likely to get stolen. It's a lot less likely to be seen by people and the deer. So climbing stick's nice. Also the climbing stick's nice if you're gonna tie it up in the vine or mock scrape. I'm not gonna touch it with my hands, put my scent on it. But if you wanna tie one up in the tree, it's also nice to get the rope higher up, because you want that rope at least 10 feet up in the air so the deer don't see that and it looks more natural coming down and hanging. Okay, how's that? That's good. See how tall I am? I don't have a climbing stick, somewhere to get up there. They ain't stealing my camera. I'm not worried about it on this property, but when you're out on public land. Alright, the last thing I'm doing here real quick, doesn't need to be perfect, but the path to my stand. So I got from that side of that bean field, I got a path coming in if I decide to use that one. And I got another path from a trail in here. You want to make sure the path to your stand is clear, so you aren't stepping on branches and stuff. So for the most part, it's still clear from the last time. I put this branch here and a few other as a little bit of a deterrent for the deer to go up and go this direction, because I don't want them coming in here. I don't want them to smell my scent. So this looks about perfect, you know. It's enough I can get through here quietly, and hopefully enough to keep the deer using the path that I cleared much clearer over here. So we should be good. We're gonna get out of the woods. I'll follow up here in a second. We're gonna get Sam out of the woods. They love his blood. These mosquitoes are gonna carry him away here in a second. All right, we're back at the house after getting everything cleaned up, around my tree stand setup, and I want to go through the stuff that you bring into the woods, or at least that I brought in the woods today. This is going to vary depending on how much prep work you actually have to do, but this is something real basic. I wanted to go in light and clear things up. I'm actually missing one other item here. Maybe two other items. So this is what I brought in the woods. As you saw, it was extremely hot today. So water is the key thing. You don't have the water, you're gonna keel over. But it's 100 degrees out with the humidity today. So super hot, and you're gonna get quickly burnt out if you do not rehydrate. So other than that, it's important that you bring limb trimmer if possible. If you're prepping around your stand, clear any limbs out of your way. Make sure your shooting lanes are all cleared. I actually cleared up lanes in the spring and everything looked good, so I didn't even have to use that today. But definitely important to bring. I brought a climbing stick, so that way I could get my trail cam up higher in the tree, which you guys saw. I brought a trail cam. This is the one I swapped out. Gloves, pulling weeds, you name it. It's better than getting thistles and everything else stuck in your hands. Poison ivy. Got a trail cam mount to be able to point it down in a downwards angle or whatever angle I need to position it. As you saw, I put it 10 feet high in the air. And then this cool little tool from Gander Mountain back. Boy, this thing's old, so I'm sure you can probably find something like this today, but this thing comes in handy. You can clip it on your belt if you want, but you slide it out and you got yourself a mini shovel, and you can also pop that shovel off and turn it into a little hatchet. So use this today to get out a little bit, some small trees and stuff out of the way that were growing up. Definitely comes in extremely handy. So like I said, went in real light, but the one main thing that I did not bring with me, but I did spray my clothes ahead of time. If I would have been videotaping Sam the whole time, you would have seen him dancing in the background, almost getting carried away by mosquitoes, because they are awful today. About as big as birds. But you're gonna want to spray your clothes down with permethrin. Permethrin does wonders. This works better than your bug spray you're gonna buy in stores. I think you still can find this at like Walmart. I bought this one on Amazon. I can link it down below. Usually it stays in your clothes for a while if you douse them really good. It probably lasts a few washes or so. But I had a swarm come in on me. They flew, some of them landed on me, but they took right back off. I got left alone. And if you would have seen Sam stand next to me, man, I felt bad for him. And you saw me trying to rush to get out of the woods.